Well, live now to BBC News, Sebastian Usher in Jerusalem. Sebastian, during the president's meeting with the prime minister, he also weighed in on the U.S. not knowing about Israel's attack on the place called the South Pars natural gas field. Let's play what he had to say and then talk about it.
You talked to Prime Minister Netanyahu about attacking the oil and gas fields.
Yeah, I did. I told him don't do that, and he won't do that. We didn't discuss. You know, we do. We're independent. We get along great. It's coordinated, but on occasion he'll do something, and if I don't like it, and so we're not doing that anymore.
So, what more are we learning about this blow to that gas field?
Well, I think it's still unclear where Washington stands on this, because we've had President Trump, that's the latest time that he said that the US did not know anything prior to this attack, which Israel still hasn't confirmed that it carried out. We're waiting to hear, actually, from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in an hour or two here in Israel. He's giving a press conference, and maybe he'll give us more detail then. But I mean, it seems clear that obviously Israel did carry out that attack. We heard also from Pete Hegseth saying that the US didn't know about it. That goes counter to some of the reports there have been, both in the Israeli and the US media, saying that Washington did know, according to Israel, before the attack. I mean, I think what President Trump, I guess, was hoping to do there was to give a sense that this latest escalation that there's been since that attack, the way we've seen fear run again through the oil markets and the prices rise, to say that, this isn't going to happen again. This wasn't something essentially that the US sanctioned. But again, if you go back to a Truth Social post that President Trump made earlier, he said that if Iran were, as it did in response to that attack, it hit the major liquid natural gas facility in Qatar, he says that if Iran were to do that again, then essentially the US would move to obliterate the South Pars gas field. So again, we're getting slightly different angles on President Trump's thinking.
Also, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth told the American people that today would represent the largest strike package. Are you getting any sense of the escalation that the Secretary of Defense seemed to forecast this morning?
I mean, not in any kind of outstanding way at the moment. I mean, we've heard similar comments from Mr. Hegseth before in recent days, saying that this is going to be the biggest strike that there's been. We haven't heard of any new top leaders in Iran being killed. We haven't had any real details of what the latest targets have been and what the damage has been within Iran. But I think that is a message that the US and Israel wants to pursue, that it is escalating and building its military offensive against Iran day by day.
All right, Sebastian Usher, thank you so much for that conversation. Well, as the war in Iran escalates and conflict expands throughout the Middle East, we're also hearing from the head of International Atomic Energy Agency in his first network interview since the start of the war. Listen.
The U.S. Director of National Intelligence told Congress yesterday that Iran's enrichment program was obliterated, that the U.S. has seen no efforts to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. Do you agree with that assessment? Do you have any indication that the new Supreme Leader would want a weapons program?
Well, I don't disagree with that. We don't see major activity, which is logical because there is a military campaign ongoing. Whatever you're not going to start, bringing cranes and workers.
But they weren't doing it in the lead up to the war either, according to the Secretary of State.
Maybe. By the way, what we have is satellite imagery. All right. So at least the IAEA, maybe others have other technical means or personal means to check what is happening. As far as we are concerned, we haven't seen activity. But as I was saying, a lot has survived. They have the capabilities, they have the knowledge, they have the industrial ability to do that. This is why we need to go back to a negotiating table. It's going to be needed.
You can see more of Margaret Brennan's conversation with Rafael Grossi on Sunday's Face the Nation.